Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I am Sean Okimale here in Abuja. Tonight, we'll be looking at the state of the nation, where the National Assembly belongs, especially when we're talking about the push by the Patriots, the issue of constitution review process, and electoral reforms and amendment process. All of these get our attention tonight as we speak with the spokesperson of the Senate. And also, there is a major issue regarding the leadership of the All Progressives Congress. We'll be analyzing that for you tonight on the program. So let me take you to Edo State first and foremost, where today the governor has commissioned the new Edo line, a transport system that the governor has put in place to ease movement in and around the state. To join him for that commission was the FCT minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike, as they were speaking about the commissioning, the issue and the controversy around the request that Mr. Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, should henceforth inform him of his planned visit to the state before embarking on such, which has gotten a lot of responses. The governor doubled down to say he meant what he said as regarding Peter Obi giving him ample information before visiting Edo State.
I simply said, it's an advice. Don't come to Edo without telling me. Was I chewing hot yam? Do I need 1 + 3 to make my sentence?
No!
Do I need to read encyclopedias for people to understand what I'm saying?
No! Now governor, when they walk,
My job.
to follow.
My job is not only to work for Edo people. My job is to save the life of every Edo citizen and visitors coming to Edo.
On television of recent, unnecessary debates. And that is why I say Nigerians forget history. When I was governor, when Peter Obi was coming to my state, he notified me that he was coming to my state. I provided logistics, vehicles for him to use. Because at that level, as a profile presidential candidate, if he does not tell you and anything happens, the governor will be held responsible. And people should stop politicking when the truth is being told. Obi, knowing fully well, with their so-called coalition, anything can happen. They will accuse the governor that he was behind it. So the statement you made, you are quite right.
Well, that is the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the Governor of Edo State, and the commissioning of Edo line today. So much to talk about tonight, but before we get into our conversation, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke and the People's Democratic Party in Osun State have declared support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid in 2027. Adeleke made this known today through a statement shared following a strategic meeting with the PDP leadership caucus in Osogbo. The governor says he remains in the PDP and has been unanimously endorsed by the Osun PDP for a second term in 2026. The Senate has announced plans to hold a special session tomorrow in honor of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The tribute session will reflect on his legacy and contributions to national development following his passing. Meanwhile, the Senate has urged the public to disregard unverified social media claims suggesting that the Senate Committee on Constitution Review has recommended a creation of new states. In the meantime, the Senate has also approved the federal government's 2025 to 2026 external borrowing plan, which includes a total of $21.8 billion, 2.1 billion euros, 15 billion yuan, and a grant of 65 million euros. The loans and grants are intended to fund various projects and programs under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. In addition to external borrowing plan, the Senate also granted approval for the issuance of federal government bonds in the domestic debt market to offset outstanding pension liabilities amounting to 757.98 billion naira. Similarly, the upper chamber approved a separate request for capital raising of up to $2 billion in the domestic debt market. The United States visa restrictions, duration and validity of non-migrant visas, which affects Nigeria, has caught the attention of the House of Representatives. Following a motion by Honorable Mukhtar Mohammed, the House is worried that the decision was taken without consultation or consideration of the relationship between both countries. The House is further urging the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to engage the U.S. authorities for reversal of the decision. And the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Zach Adedeji, has announced plans by the service to collaborate with the judiciary to align the nation's tax laws with international treaties with present economic realities as part of efforts to close gaps in capital flights and illicit financial flows. The FIRS boss was speaking at a meeting on illicit financial flows in Abuja. Mr. Adedeji also explains that international gathering, international cooperation, and the establishment of a department charged with curbing illicit financial flows are some of the initiatives taken to reduce the crime, which stands at $88 billion per annum.
Let's tell you now that we're getting response and the reply from the wife of the former Minister of Transportation and former River State Governor, Rotimi Amaechi's wife, Judith Amaechi, has fiercely denied recent corruption allegations leveled against her by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. In a strongly worded rebuttal, Dame Amaechi dismissed as, quote, baseless and absurd Wike's claims that her NGO, the Empowerment Support Initiative, was receiving a staggering $4 billion monthly from the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Speaking through a media assistant, she challenged Wike to publish any credible evidence, including the long-awaited NDDC forensic audit report he referenced, which she insists has yet to be made public. The statement further emphasized that the ESI is a legally incorporated non-governmental organization founded in 2011, known for its development work and training initiatives across the Niger Delta. Dame Amaechi described the allegations as political blackmail aimed at damaging her reputation and undermining years of impactful work in youth and women empowerment. She also questioned Wike's motives and credibility, accusing him of media trial theatrics and demanding a public apology and resignation should he fail to back his claims with verifiable facts. As these war of words intensifies, the response to the minister's comment comes after the minister's conversation right here on this program. So today it was some kind of drama after Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan approached the National Assembly with the aim of resuming duties as the senator representing Kogi Central in the National Assembly. Upon our arrival at about noon today, the Kogi Central senator, who rode in a black car, was stopped by security operatives at the gate of the National Assembly. After some minutes, Senator Natasha came down from her vehicle and walked into the National Assembly premises where she was accompanied by her supporters, including activist Aisha Yesufu. She was stopped again at the second gate and asked to turn back. However, the senator and her supporters made their way past the checkpoint only to meet a locked gate. Despite attempts to gain entry, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan and her team of supporters were denied access. The senator had since said she's written to the Inspector General of Police informing him of his planned return to work. Let me allow you to have a feel of some of what happened earlier today.
You all should be ashamed of yourself. You close the doors. You go make yourself prisoner in a house that is meant for the people. And the police.
So far, I've not been given any official reason. I've only read on the papers yesterday that I should not resume today because the Senate has appealed. And that is why I presented to you that the Senate has not appealed the judgment. It is Akpabio himself. He is abusing power by willing the entire institutions to fight me. It's a personal vendetta that Akpabio is unleashing on me by hiding under the wings of the institutions, and it is wrong. It is totally wrong because you can't have his own senatorial district deprive the Kogi Central of representation. There is just no reason why these gates should not be open. But by and large, considering the fact that the Senate is vacating tomorrow, whenever they deem it fit to resume, we would resume as well.
That's Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the suspended senator representing Kogi Central in the National Assembly, upon the judgment of court that our suspension is unconstitutional. But tonight our attention is on the role of the National Assembly in the constitutional review process. The National Assembly had come out especially the Senate, to talk about the creation of state. We'll be hearing and getting clarity whether or not we're going to be having more states in the Federation. The Patriots are also saying that we need an overhaul, a new constitution altogether. But what's the position of the National Assembly? Don't forget also, our eyes are on the Electoral Act reforms, the reforming of the electoral process, and perhaps the amendment of some sections ahead of the 2027 elections. I'm being joined tonight by the Senate spokesperson, Senator Yemi Adaramudu is live for us here in our studio. Senator, it's good to have you tonight.
My great brother, good evening.
Good evening.
And then I want to say good evening to fellow Nigerians.
Thank you so much indeed.
Yeah.
Why is your colleague denied access?
Which colleague?
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
The senator on suspension? Look, my brother Sheung, and I want to tell Nigerians, we have said what we are supposed to say about the issue of Senator Natasha, who's our colleague. And we are not even interested in entertaining any kind of fancy about it anymore. And I just want to reiterate that the Senate, the National Assembly at large, has very, very onerous roles to play and a lot to do. We are legislators, we are lawmakers. We are not spectators to be watching skit making and content creation. So initially I said that all this episode, all this saga, just about content creation. And then the content has been created and is now maybe degenerating into season film. We are not interested, we are not actors. We are lawmakers. And we are not interested in all these kind of things.
As the Senate.
And mark you, my brother, even when any litigant goes to court and gets any judgment, either that person feels that this is judgment, this is another, when that is not another. That litigant does not even enforce orders by himself or herself. There are court bailiffs who will serve orders on those ones that others are supposed to be served on, as prescribed by the court. And then why, if those people that others were served on do not take to the others, then those ones can be accused of contempt of court, and then they will be charged to court accordingly. So I hope and I think and I know that Nigerians know that this is another skit making. This is another content. This is just the continuation of the content creation episode of our own colleague. But like I said, we are not interested in joining issues with it.
But let's get
Senate,
clarity.
The Senate has already done what it's supposed to do constitutionally, and which the court upheld that the Senate, according to Section 60 of the Nigerian Constitution, and then the order and the rules book of the Senate. So the Senate has done what it's supposed to do, and then we have already issued statements. And I want Nigerians to know that we are not even interested, because we have a lot of things to do.
We have a lot of issues.
Like you said, we are talking about constitutional amendment. We are talking about electoral reforms. We are talking about so many things.
Senator.
And we have just barely, even less than 2 years to an election, 2027, maybe around February or March 2027. Another election will be coming up. Presidential election,
Senator.
National Assembly, governorship, and then the state houses of assembly. So we have a lot to do. We are not bothered about
Has the Senate received the court judgment?
You said?
The High Court judgment. Has the Senate received it?
Yes, we have. We have seen it.
That the suspension of Natasha.
We have seen it.
Illegal and
there was nowhere in the judgment. Anybody who has it can show us where it is written, where it is pronounced that it is illegal, that it is unconstitutional, and that an order was made. The only order that was made in that judgment was the order that our colleague, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, should apologize to the court and pay 5 million naira fine. And she had appealed it. I don't know how somebody will now say he or she is appealing an order and now wants to enforce an opinion.
No, that the portion of the
like I said,
Senator, so that we don't misinform the public.
Let's go to
the portion of the appeal is about the fine that she was given. The fine that came down on her. That was the portion where she appealed on that judgment. But the court has said the suspension of any lawmaker to represent their constituency is unconstitutional. And the court has been very consistent. Go and read the certified.
My brother, go and read the certified true copy of the court, which has never been denounced. That, in my opinion is not an order. And without maybe want to sound so legalistic, we say it is liter obiter. That is opinion, in my opinion. But in the area of the judgment, whereby the senator was supposed to apologize, bring down what she has written on Facebook, and at the same time pay a fine of 5 million naira. That one, the court said, the court orders that. The rest, if there's anywhere that the court said, the court orders, even the other opinions of the court is that Section 60 subsists. The Senate has absolute power to
discipline one of their own.
Yes, discipline one of their own.
If it's according to...
Yes, and that in the opinion of the court and in the belief of the judge, that I believe, and in my opinion, it might be excessive. And I believe the Senate can recall. So these are opinions and beliefs, which are not orders. But like I said, I don't want to go to all these explanations anymore. We have said what we should say about it, and then we should not just go back to it again, because it's going to be a ding-dong this thing. Because that is what our own colleague wants. So that today, Senate will talk.
So why are you aware of the appeal by the Senate President? The only one are you aware?
No, the only one that I want to give is that there's nothing subsisting between the Senate President and our colleague Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. It's not about the Senate President. It's about the Senate as a whole. Because the rules book were made by the Senate. The Constitution, Section 60, is for the Senate of the National Assembly. It's not for Senator Akpabio. So it is not about Senator Akpabio at all. It's about the Senate. And like I said, please, my brother, let us go to where Nigeria.
If I may quickly put the question,
let us go to
are you
where
aware
Nigeria
that Senator Akpabio appealed this matter?
Where the appeal. No, let me tell you something. The appeal is not about the recall. It's not about the powers of the Senate to discipline one of its own. It's about jurisdiction. And that's all. And that area has got nothing to do.
So, Senator,
has got nothing to do
as the Senate
with
is
any
concerned,
other.
As
it
far
has
as the
got
Senate
nothing to do with it.
Senator Natasha stands suspended.
Well, as far as the Senate is concerned, we have said that until and when the court rules and gives a definitive order that, look, what you have done is unconstitutional, it's illegal, and anybody can point it to me, can bring it out to me.
Those are the words of the court.
My brother.
Excessive.
Yes. No, unconstitutional is not there.
Excessive.
Unconstitutional is not there.
Did you
that
see the
is, he said, in my own opinion, opinion of a person is not the holding of a court. It's not judicial.
So I'm asking you, on behalf of the Senate, what is the position of the Senate?
The position of the Senate is, and has been initiated yesterday, 2 days ago, even this morning, that yes, when the order has not come, then the Senate reserves that constitutional right to now sit, consider, and see whether one of them, which is our own sister, our own colleague, revered and respected, because we know that we are human beings, we can err any time, that when the Senate now decides, even before the end of that suspension period, if the Senate sits down and then considers recalling her, but if not, it subsists, the suspension subsists, because
she will not be allowed entrance or access into the National Assembly.
Our chamber is the only place
that isn't the punishment enough already.
No, our chamber is the only place that is hallowed. Anybody can get to anywhere in the National Assembly. Is a public place. We are not bothered, and we don't know. And the only thing there is that if you as Shehu, you are coming to the National Assembly with a multitude of a mob multitude, there's no way. Carrying placards, carrying flags, chanting war songs, there's no way. The security in the National Assembly will allow you in. So you as Shehu, who is not even a senator, as a journalist, if you want to try it, go there tomorrow, rent a crowd, tell a mob to start chanting war songs, clapping for you, carrying placards, raining expletives, and showing all those things unspeakable and unthinkable, and then there's no way. The security decided at times. We allow you to come in. The only place where the senators own strictly is the chamber, which is the hallowed chamber. And we never allow anything that smokes like illegality to enter the
Senator. Let's move to another issue.
And like I told you, I said, we are not interested in maybe watching all this kind of content creation episode anymore. So that's why we have spoken, Senator, and Senate has spoken.
Senator, so let's move on to some other issue. On the Constitution amendment process, yes. Clarify for us, because I know this matter came up on the floor today. Is the Senate accepting or reviewing or entertaining requests for creation of states? Is it part of some of the proposition in the Constitution amendment process?
All propositions made by groups and individuals. Either the groups come as a form of a state, even conurbated commodities, the Senate and the House of Representatives will consider them. Lawmaking is not as simple as the way we look at it. When all proposals and propositions come, we put them on the table. We aggregate them. We have already informed the committees, and then senators go to their districts, not only districts, even geopolitical zones, to go and hold public hearings and collect proposals and propositions from our people. When we put all those things on the table, we are still going to have a public hearing head and to be spearheaded by the committee in charge of it, because we have a committee in charge of a constitutional review, which is headed, especially in the Senate, by the Senate Deputy Senate President. Then after that, it is what will come out from that will form a report to the Senate to consider. The same will form a report to the House of Representatives to consider. And then the two chambers will now meet and now have a kind of, after that joint meeting, they will have a kind of agreement and arrangement. It is that we put back to the senators and to the representatives to consider. So it is not possible for the Senate or the House of Representatives to determine from the onset that these are how many states.
But there was a position. There was a position of the Senate today.
And again, we still need to go back to the states, whereby 2/3 of the number of states in Nigeria, that means about 24, not less than 24, must say yes to a kind of proposal or proposition or anything submitted before it can become law in the Constitution. So it is not prerogative of the Senate or that of the House of Representatives to just sit down and say that we are creating 12 states, we are creating 20 states, or we are creating 10 states. So it is not.
But are those proposals on the table?
We have not seen them, because the committee has not come to the Senate to bring the aggregated proposals. So just about 2 or 3 days ago.
Tell us about the agenda. Tell us about the agenda of the National Assembly, because there are a lot of
our agenda.
Just a moment about the constitutional review, because there are those who will say there should be priorities as far as the problems or the crisis in the country.
Yes, we have priorities.
Are you focusing on those priorities?
Yes, we have priorities.
With the view of resolving them?
We have priorities from the National Assembly. Because if you look at the proposals that are being brought up today, there are some that emanated from the National Assembly. One, the gender matter, women participation in governance. That one came from even the Deputy Speaker.
The reserve seats.
Yes, from the House of Representatives, whatever we call it. We are talking about gender inclusiveness in it. So whatever way we do it, after all the public hearings and after everything, after the judge joining and after going through the crucibles of lawmaking, whatever we call it, that one is a priority. Another priority is the state police, which we think that is going to assist the security apparatus of Nigeria to make sure that, because even when we are talking about politics is local, economics matters are local, then definitely security too is very local. So we think that we should just break down the security architecture of Nigeria down to the grassroots, whereby we can have our own local approaches as it is going to be brought by the states, and then we are getting even feelers from
Is electoral reform part of your priority?
No, I'm still going on.
Is electoral reform part of it?
Seriously.
There are a lot of Nigerians who are worried about the appointment of those who head INEC. Yes. Are you thinking of taking that power away from the president?
It is not our thinking. It is going to be the thinking of the majority of Nigerians.
That's what a lot of people feel that.
We in the media, we can say that maybe those people that we have brought to come and speak are saying that one. But by the time we now hold a very serious and strict public hearing, whereby all the critical stakeholders, the CSOs, all the sectors will now be brought together. And then whatever they say, we aggregate. It's going to be done openly. It's not going to be done in secrecy. So if the aggregated opinions of Nigerians is that, okay, we just have to maybe relieve either the presidency or whoever from maybe appointing electoral officers who are going to manage.
What are you and your colleagues thinking? Because we're talking about electoral reforms.
Our thinking does not matter.
Because at the end
you
of
know
the
why
day,
our thinking does not matter?
Yeah.
They are representatives of the people.
Yeah, but
so we must not think for them. They should think for us.
You should be thinking
they should think
about
for us.
what your people
the
are
people
thinking.
Must think for us, not that we will think
some
for
of
them.
the Nigerian people that we have spoken
you have
to
said some of them,
and this has been
that you have spoken with.
Just a moment,
now,
Senator.
since we are going to have
these conversations every day, and there is the opinion of a lot of people that
since we are going
appointment of those who head INEC should be made objective and far away from political influence.
By the time we now open up the public hearing, let everybody who has any opinion, even tallied with what you are saying, let them come. So once we do that one, it is not the way in the open. Then we, as legislators, we don't think for our constituents. Our constituents must think for us because they send us. They are the ones who will say, this is what we want. And if that is what they want, then definitely we are going to kowtow to them.
Yes.
So it's not for them to kowtow to us. So that's why I would say, erroneously, some people believe that the National Assembly will just sit down and just make laws. No, we don't just make laws, especially Constitution. And then we would not want the situation whereby every year we need to change the Constitution. We need to amend the Constitution.
Are we hopeful
we are not panel-beaters.
Are we hopeful?
We are not panel-beaters.
Are we hopeful?
We want a very
of an electoral reforms to the extent of electronic transmission of results.
Let's get here. Let's get there.
Let me challenge you and your colleagues.
The electoral body,
Senator.
The electoral body, which
Senator.
is INEC, the electoral body, which is INEC, must even have a say. They must tell us if they have problems. They want to do electronic transmission. They must tell us what are their inhibitions. They must tell us if they want to do, if we have to do it, that we don't want to make sure, we don't want to do something and say that, okay, there must be electronic transmission. And then on the day of the election, and then we are now having excuses that, oh, there's network failure. Oh, there's this, there's that. We don't want that.
Did you hear what
we don't want that?
Are
because
saying?
when you are making laws, you make laws not because of emotions. You make laws based on what is obtainable and could be obtained. And then those people that are even going to exercise all those things, because even when you talk of INEC, it is not all the officials of INEC are going to be appointed by the executive. When you talk of EOs, AEOs, then other officers in INEC, are they not civil servants?
Senator, let me take you quickly to the...
Are they employed or are they appointed by the executive? No, it's only the chairman or the rec that we say that are even appointed by the executive. And the rec of a state cannot even make an election free and fair alone. He has directors, assistant directors, every directors, EOs, AEOs, and so on and so forth. Below him, that are going to conduct elections.
Senator.
So now, when we, like I said, we should not do laws because of emotions. We should not criticize based on emotions. Because the chairman of INEC, who is in Abuja, is not going to be in the Ekiti State on the day of election. It's not going to be the person who is going to come to my local government in the Southwest to come and conduct election. It's not going to be the one who's going to be the poll clerk on the day. It's not going to be the returning officer, and it's not going to even be the person who will be the rank officer.
Senator,
in my local government and in my wards. So definitely, election entails a lot,
Senator,
and then brings a lot of human effort and human hand into it. So that's why I said invariably that Nigerians should.
I want us to anchor on the point of the patriots. You saw those eminent Nigerians when they gather in Abuja, and they're asking that there needs to be an overhaul.
Yeah.
What is the position of the Senate on this?
The position of the Senate is that when we get to that stage, whereby there's going to be public hearing, the patriots, eminent Nigerians, fine Nigerians who are good, who are then, we can even say they are our heritage. They are the ones who have seen it all in Nigeria. We cannot just discard them. We cannot denounce them. We cannot throw them away. We cannot wave them just off like that. Now, when we are, especially there's government, that's the National Assembly, which were put in place by the votes of the people. They are the conscience of the people. Whatever anybody thinks. Now, let them come to the public hearing. Make all these proposals and propositions. And open all those things. Let them be here. Because where we are in Nigeria now, it's not only the elderly that can now tell us what is good for Nigeria anymore. The youth will tell us. The women will tell us. The people living with disabilities will tell us. Even the politicians will tell us. Even those ones that hate politics, they will tell us. Even Nigerians in diaspora, they will talk. So now let us put everything together. Because if the patriots, if they are saying that, and the youths are saying something else, and then the politicians are saying something else, and then the technocrats are saying something else, and then Nigerians in the diaspora are saying something else, then we become a house of Babel. So for us not to become a house of Babel, that's why the National Assembly is going to put together a very eminently very conducive and inviting and challenging public hearing, whereby our leaders, our fathers and our mothers can come, and our seniors can come and say, okay, our national ancestors, the purveyors of those people that made Nigeria as Nigeria as it is today, then they come, then they present. Then all of us will look at this.
All right,
then
Senator.
we consider it.
All right.
And then we take a position together.
Senator.
So that's how a constitution is made. But for us to just listen and now say, oh, the constitution, we should just discard everything, and then we should do this, we should do that. While some people are talking about Republican system, some people are talking about parliamentary system, some people are talking about presidential system. So definitely there is no system that you won't have
Senator
those people that are for and those people that are against.
Senate spokesperson.
Yes.
Many thanks. It's always a pleasure having you speak on behalf of the Senate.
Is that all?
That's all tonight. Senator Yemi Adaramodu, Senate spokesperson. Always a pleasure spending these 40 minutes with us. Thank you so much indeed. We take a break, everyone, but when we return, our attention will be on the affairs of the All Progressives Congress APC. The party seems to be heading in deciding who will be its next national chairman. I'll be speaking with one of the former presidential aspirant, Adamu Garba, will be joining us next. Join us again, everyone. Everyone for staying with us. So recently we had the acting national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC after the Mr. Ganduje, former Kano governor, left the office. But there are a lot of talks as to what will happen when the party seats to meet at the national level on the 24th. That's going to be in a few days' time. But in the midst of all of that is the external pressure that the party is on, as ADC and the opposition parties are piling more tension and pressure on the ruling party on whether the party can be electable ahead of 2027. I'm being joined by a former presidential aspirant and a member of the APC. Mr. Adamu Garba, it's live for us here now, so thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of people will be surprised that Mr. Ganduje was eased out, because that's what a lot of people think, that he's been eased out. And there are a lot of agitation from the north central region of the country as to who should rightfully occupy that seat. Don't forget, the former governor in Nasarawa State, and these are some of the faces that we've seen and that we are hearing, Senator Sani Musa, Senator Al Makura. In fact, the name of the SGF has come up, and the former governor of Plateau State, Joshua Dari. These are some of the names that have come up. But in your own view, how do you think the party should go when they meet on Thursday or thereabout?
Thank you, Sheun. You see, when you look at the political dynamics generally in the country, I think it is very important for the political party structure, especially within the APC, to show leadership in all the political party platforms in Nigeria, for all of them. Because if you look at what is happening in PDP, it's scattered. When you look at what is happening again in Labour Party, all the major opposition candidates, parties are out. If you look at what is happening even in NMPP, the same confusion. So it is important for our party to reorganize itself because we have damning challenges to face when it comes to the politics and the contestation that is coming. So the best solution is, of course, to listen to the agitation of the North Central, because the North Central have actually supposed to occupy that position. Remember, it was Abdullah Adamu that resigned, that now necessitated the way of Ganduje coming on board, and now Ganduje also honorably resigned. So I believe that North Central should take the seat. And I saw the list of those.
And all of them are from North Central.
All of them are from North Central, right?
Whether to go back to Nasarawa, or to go in the way of Plateau, or to go in the way of Niger, or Benue.
Now let's look at this contemporary arrangement. If you go to Benue, for instance, most recently there is even a little bit of challenges between the governor and the SGF. So, and it is the fact that we have confusion within the entire political party machinery in the country. We need a rancor-free leadership. And that is why if you go to Benue, you know the challenges that we're facing between the governor and the SGF. If you come back to Joshua Darie, although he is clean by the code and everything, but you know the challenges, associated with him, and also you know the challenges associated with Plateau State. Now, if you come back to Nasarawa State have had it, many times. So I think it's high time for us to shift the base. And that is why personally, I don't know whether he has expressed interest. Senator Sani Musa, I think Senator Sani Musa will fit in the bill.
But he's a senator already.
He's a senator, but again, Abdullah Adamu was a senator when he resigned and took over the mantle of leadership of the party. And if you look at the political dynamics, the evolving dynamics of the 2027 election, we are looking at young people playing a significant role.
So is Sani Musa younger?
Actually, to me, he's more relatable. It's actually more relatable. I personally have a relationship with him. I have some conversations with him during the time when he declared for the Senate presidency. He has clarity of mind. He has this level of sense of justice. He knows how to carry people along, and he's blunt. When you look at his presentation in the floor of the National Assembly, this is what the Gen Zs want. This is what the young people want. We need somebody that is relatable, somebody that is blunt, somebody capable of telling the institution the truth, and also capable of listening to criticism.
When I invited you, I saw some of your comments, and I thought that ahead of the party's meeting, we should have this conversation. Because actually, I saw a bit of some comments, those who are of the opinion that some of the political parties are aloof to the younger politicians or the younger minds, and they're not really relatable. And you look at the names of those people, former governors majorly,
yes,
and those who are being eye up there. But again, the party is at a stage where it's challenged now on the outside.
Yes.
It's challenged on the inside. Inclusivity on the inside, pressure of the next election on the outside. Who will be able to connect the dots and provide leadership? What qualities should your party be looking at?
That is exactly why, personally, this is my personal opinion, I don't even know whether he actually want to come back again, because 313 as aspired last time, during the time when there was an agitation of the North Central. But he has all the qualities you need. As I mentioned earlier, he's very blunt, he's very open, he's sincere, he's relatable. He has clarity of mind. When he is speaking, I can see from his heart what he is telling me with his face.
Another name came up though.
Who?
The humanitarian minister.
Yeah.
I overheard some of your party people talk about Professor Uduaghan,
yes,
as a possible candidate also.
Yes, you see, the problem is that you can't disconnect a possible contender of a state where you have contestation between the person on the seat and the governor in his state. Because if you have somebody from Plateau, which is a PDP state, we should understand, we should of course perceive a lot of issues regarding sabotage from within the state. And we do not want rancor. Niger State has been very, very stable over time. And it's been 100% PDP, APC. It's been loyal. It's been working extremely with the government. And when you look at their policies from the state level, it's always aligned with the policies of the renewed hope of the president at the federal government. In fact, Niger State is actually a harbinger and a template of agricultural revolution in Nigeria, carried throughout the Renew Hope program. So we need somebody that comes from the state where he can get maximum support. Somebody that will be acceptable by everybody. And that is why personally I think, as an APC member, Senator Sani Musa actually fit the bill. He tick all the boxes. And I think we young people will now have some sense of belonging within the party. That now we have someone we can talk to, we can relate with, we can engage.
Do you have a feeling, and there are a lot of talks about the unpopularity of your party, and it's increasing by the day?
Yeah, frankly speaking, is the truth. Our party has a lot of challenges, especially from the northern side of the country. And the loss of Muhammad Buhari, former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, may Allah rest his soul, was also a serious contributing factor to this negativity, because he was supposed to hold the base. He was the soul of APC in the north. So his not availability is also an issue. And that is the more reason why we need someone at the center, the one that will carry out the APC engine, the APC machine, to be someone that people can trust. Because majority of the challenges we have is that the government have done exceedingly well in the area of economy and in the area of security, especially in the area of security. If you look at the security dynamics of this country today, we hardly have any attack on Abuja, Kaduna, or Lokoja, Abuja. Zero. We hardly have all this mass kidnapping that we used to have in schools. Out of the 75 bandit leaders that we have in the country, 72 are eliminated, by the current security system put in place by Nuhu Ribadu. Again, if you go back to Southeast, you don't even have Simon Ekpa. Again, we don't have any Biafra agitation. There is hardly any attack on any of the state institutions. If you go back to Niger Delta, we are currently in Ogoniland, in Niger Delta, where 30 years, for over 30 years, we were unable to penetrate into Ogoniland. And there is hardly any attack on the pipelines. And our oil production has increased to almost 1,700.
Did you hear at the burial of President Buhari, those who understand Hausa very well,
yes,
and those young people who are saying Buhari has died, they are no longer following the APC.
Yes, naturally,
did you hear that?
Naturally, there is going to be this kind of tension.
Not only political permutation that Buhari may have died with its 12 million votes, and those votes are gone, and is up in the air for anybody who has the clout to be able to get it. But the question is that when in the home, the number one home of the APC in the northern Nigeria, young people are saying Buhari is gone. They are no longer following the APC.
You see,
is that not a danger for your party?
When you look at the numbers, Buhari actually left the presidency in 2023. And when you look at the outcome of the 2023 election, APC has only 5.5 million votes in the north. Where is the 12 million votes? It means from that
it has even been gone.
I said, started going, but yet we won the election on the basis of the system that was established and the structures that we put in place and the strategies that we deployed to win this election. So what we need now is to re-engineer our strategy again. Now that with his absence, we don't have someone that can be able to, at least, even for his sake, they can stay within the APC. So there's a challenge.
Just give me a moment.
Yes.
Let's go on another break. But when we come back, there is even a bigger challenge beyond those who say they are not following your party again. And that's going to be reviewed in my next question after this break. Our closing moments now with Adamu Garba, a member of the APC. Thank you so much indeed. If you have fear about what supporters of the APC who are now rethinking about their support, what about the opposition coalition? We've not seen opposition members coming together in this manner. What they have agreed on, even if they have not agreed on a unified way of going forward, one thing they've agreed is that they don't want Tinubu. They don't want APC in 2027. And they are unified. And they're thinking, they are strategically working day and night in how they will ensure that Tinubu and APC does not win 2027. And when Nigerians are resolute, especially when they're asking for free and fair election, and when they want something, you don't want to stand in their way.
You're completely right. You see, the oppositions are like vultures. They are just waiting to cash out on the carcass. That means the more we lose, the more they gain. So they hope for our loss. And that is the more reason why we need to be very sincere with ourselves. And we need to make sure that the leadership of the party is somebody that is truthful, that is capable of listening to criticism and accepting the fact without any flattery, without any sycophancy. Because I believe now there is a lot of sycophancy around the president. People are telling him that things are okay. Things are not okay. Even the people that came back from the opposition party, to our own party, there are people in-house that were APC members that are likely not happy with that status quo. And we are going to face primary election. So in the situation whereby you face primary election and then you don't have good leadership, or you have a compromised leadership that can be able to sell the voting right of some others, it will create a lot of backlash for us and the opposition gains. And that is why we're organizing our party structuring it very well, and giving it a leadership of a personality that can drive this, I think is the best deal. And that is why you say I'm promoting. I personally, I don't know whether he wants it. I keep saying this, but I'm actually calling on Senator Sani Musa 313 to reconsider and come back again.
It's going to be a very tricky one. I don't know what your party plans to discuss in the agenda when they meet on Thursday. There should be some caucus meeting tomorrow, and in the coming days we should see some more meetings, but it's going to be a critical one. There are those who say 2027 might be the beginning of the end for the APC, and there are those who say it might just be the moment for Nigerians to speak. Whatever that language is, or whatever voice they are airing in 2027, I just hope that it's going to be for the good of the Nigerian people.
Yes, I think, yes, please, one last thing. Yeah. Right, one last thing. 2027 is going to be very good for the APC if we do the right thing within the party. But if we don't get it right, I'm telling you, it is not going to be good for us.
Thank you so much, Adamu Garba. It's a pleasure having you on the program tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. God bless Nigeria.